In this video, we are going to discuss about computer registers and common bus system. Registers are mainly useful for storing the data. If the data resides in register, then CPU can access the data in a faster manner than if the data resides in main memory. Why? Because registers are very faster. CPU can access the contents of the register in a faster manner. Mainly there are 6 registers are available. The first register is AR. AR stands for address register. Address register stores address of the operand. Next register PC. PC stands for program counter. Program counter always contains address of next instruction to be executed. Next one, DR. DR stands for data register. Data register stores operand. Data register stores operand. Next, AC. AC stands for accumulator. Accumulator is a general purpose register. So if you want to perform any operation on the CPU, then mainly it performs the operation with the help of the accumulator. And the next one is IR. IR stands for instruction register. It contains the instruction to be loaded from the main memory. So instruction register stores the instruction. Next one, TR register. So TR stands for temporary register. TR stands for temporary register. It is mainly useful in order to perform temporary calculations. Next we have 2 more registers. INPR stands for input register. OutR stands for output register. Okay. Input register contains input data. It receives from the input device. Whereas output register contains output data that it receives from some output devices. So these are the registers that we have. Here address register stores address of the operand. Program counter stores address of the next instruction. So these 2 instructions mainly stores the addresses. Okay. Let us assume that our instruction size is 16 bits. Our instruction size is 16 bits. So we can have 16 bits from 0 to 50. So out of 16 bits, 12 bits specifies the address. 12 bits specifies the address. The remaining bit specifies some operations as well as some indirect bits. Okay. So here the size of the address register and the size of the program counter is 12 bits. Why? Because address register stores address of the operand, program counter stores address of the next instructions. So these two stores addresses. So the size is 12 bits. Coming to the data register, accumulator, instruction register and temporary register, these 2 mainly store some instructions. So the size of all those registers are 16 bits. If you take data register, it stores the data, it stores the operand. Okay. If it stores accumulator, it is a general purpose register. Instruction register stores the entire instruction. Temporary registers for temporary calculations. So the size of these 4 registers are 16 bits. Coming to the input register and output register, the size is 8 bits. The size of the input register and output register is only 8 bits. So this is about the registers which are present in the system. So totally how many registers we have? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So totally there are 8 registers are there. Now let's see what is the advantage of the common bus system. Generally, if you want to perform any operation, then the corresponding data will be stored in the register and CPU performs the operations on the registers. Let us assume that our system contains 100 registers. So if we want to transfer data from one register to the another register, then what we have to do is the output of the first register should be connected to the remaining 99 registers inputs. So how many connections are needed? So too many connections. Likewise, the output of the second register should be connected as input to the remaining 99 registers. So likewise, if a system contains 100 registers, then from one register to remaining all other registers, we have to make the connections with the help of some cables or wires. So too many cables are needed. So this is very expensive approach. So that's why we are using common bus system. By using common bus system, we can transfer data from a register to another register, or we can transfer data from register to the memory, or we can transfer data from memory to the register in a less expensive manner. So common bus system is mainly useful in order to transfer data between registers, data between register and memory, like that. Now let us take this diagram. So here, with the help of common bus system, we are transferring data data between the registers, data between register and memory, like that. Okay. So let us analyze this diagram. So this is nothing but bus. So these lines are nothing but bus. So S2 and S1 and S0 are nothing but the selection inputs which are to be applied on the bus. So if there are 3 selection inputs, then totally we can have 2 power 3 inputs. So now totally we can use 8 inputs. Okay. So based upon the selection inputs, we can perform the operations. First, let's see the first block here. Here we have memory unit. This is nothing but main memory. So already we have seen a diagram for the instruction. What is the size of the instruction? 16 bits from 0 to 15, where the first 12 bits specifies the address. Here the size of the memory unit is 4096 cross 16. Here, what is the address here? The address of the instruction is 12 bits. So if the address is 12 bits, then totally we can store 2 power 12 words. 2 power 10 means 1024. 2 power 11 means 2048. Whereas 2 power 12 means 4096. So in the main memory, we can store 4096 words from 0 to 4095 words. So that's why here we placed 4096. Cross, what is the size of the instruction? The size of the instruction is 16 bits. So here the memory totally stores 4096 words, where each word size is 16 bits. So that's why we place it there. Next, here we have a connection from memory to the bus. Memory can places its information on the bus with the help of this line. Here, what is for every register and the memory, we have given a label. What is the number here? 7 is the number. So when the selection inputs 111 are applied, then the memory unit can places information on the bus. So this is nothing but output of the memory. So by enabling the selection inputs 111, 111 means what? 421, 7. So by enabling these 3 selection inputs, we can place the memory information on the bus. Next, we can perform 2 operations on the memory. First operation is write operation. Second operation is read operation. Read means placing the information of the memory on the bus. Here read means transferring data from memory to any register. So in order to transfer the information to the register, we have to place the content of the memory on the bus. Then after that, with the help of the bus, that information can be transferred to the register. So here read means transferring the data from memory to register. So whenever, here these are nothing but control inputs. So whenever read control input is enabled, then this memory unit information will be placed on the bus. Next, these are nothing but input lines to the registers as well as memory. So whenever this write control input is enabled, then the bus information will be placed on the memory. This operation is called as write. Write means transferring the data from register to the memory. If it transfers some content into the memory, then that operation is called as write operation. So in order to transfer the content into the memory, what we have to do? We have to enable write control input. So whenever write control input is enabled, then the contents of the bus are to be transferred into the memory. Next, we have address register. What is the address register? Label 1. Next register 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. Address register specifies address of the operand. So that's why here we are using this arrow. So that address register will specifies address of the operand. But where that operand resides, that operand resides in main memory only. So that's why here we are making this connection, so that this address register specifies address of the operand which is located in the memory. Address register has three control inputs. The first control input is LD. LD stands for load. Second control input is INR. INR, or we can use INC also. INR stands for increment. The third control input is CLR. CLR stands for clear. Whenever load control input is enabled, then that particular register receives information from the bus. It is just like parallel load capability. Every register will have some parallel load capability. Okay. So likewise, let us assume that we have enabled program counter load control input. So the this is program counter. Let us assume that we have enabled program counter control input load. So whenever this load control input is enabled, then program counter receives information from the bus. Next, INCR. INCR increments the contents of that register by 1. So let AR contains a content. So that content will be incremented by 1. So whenever INR control input is enabled. Next, we know about CLR. It clears the content. So all that content will be cleared. That means that content will be made as zeros. So here what we are doing? Here what is the label number? 1 is the label number. So that means address register can places information on the bus whenever we enable the control inputs 001. So 421. So in 421 here what is the label number? 1. 1 means what? 001. So whenever we enable the selection inputs 001, then address register places information on the bus. Next, when address register receives information from the bus whenever this load control input is enabled. So likewise, if you take the next one, program counter. So for program counter, what is the label? 2. So program counter places information on the bus whenever we enable the selection inputs 010, because 01 is nothing but decimal equivalent of 2. Program counter also contains 3 control inputs: load, INCR, increment. We know what is load. If load control input is enabled, then that particular register receives information from the bus. Next, if INR control input is enabled, then its content will be incremented by 1. If CLR control input is enabled, then all that content will be made as 0. So these are nothing but output connections. These are nothing but input connections. Next, for data register also we have 3 control inputs are there. Next, we have accumulator. For accumulator also we have 3 control inputs are there. Next, coming to the INPR. INPR stands for input register. Here input register doesn't provide any information to the bus. Why? Because we are using input register to get data from the keyboard, to get data from the input devices. So it doesn't give any output to the bus. Next, coming to the instruction register. Here for input register there is no control input. There is no load control input, there is no INR control input, there is no CLR control input. Why? Because we are using input register only to get some data from the input device. So there is no need of any control inputs for the input register. Next, coming to the instruction register. Instruction register has only one control input, that is load. Why? Because instruction register means it contains address as well as opcode as well as mode. So we have to load that instruction from the bus only. We should not perform any operation. We should not perform increment operation. So if you perform increment operation, then which will be incremented? Whether address will be incremented, or whether opcode will be incremented, or whether mode will be incremented. So that's why we should not perform clear and increment operation on the load on the instruction register. Instruction register should have only one control input, that is load. Next, to temporary register. So it contains 3 control inputs. Coming to the output register. Output register doesn't provide any information to the bus. Why? Because the major advantage of the output register is it gets some information from the output devices, so that information will be passed to some other registers like that. So only it gets some information from the bus. So here it has only load control input. So here the point is address register, program counter, data register, accumulator, An instruction register has 3 control inputs, whereas instruction register and output register has only one control input, that is load. Input register doesn't contain any control input. Now let's see here. Here we are using adder and logic. This is nothing but ALU. We know what is the use of ALU. It performs operations. For that, here it is getting data from data register and accumulator. So here adder and logic circuit, that is ALU, gets data from data register as well as accumulator. We know that data register contains operands and accumulator is a general purpose register. Any operation on the processor, any operation on the register will be performed with the help of accumulator. So here this is nothing but an input from the data register and this is nothing but an input from the accumulator. So by getting those two inputs, adder and logic circuit performs the corresponding operation, and after that the corresponding result will be transferred to the accumulator. Okay. Next, after performing some operations, let us assume that we have performed addition operation. After performing addition operation, we may get some carry. That carry will be transferred to a flip-flop called E. Here E means a flip-flop which stores 1 bit, that is nothing but carry. As well as it also receives information from the input register. Why? Because input register may get some data from the input device. So that data has to be transferred to the accumulator. So here adder and logic circuit takes the responsibility of transferring that data to the accumulator. Okay. So this is about the circuit. Now let's see how the operation will gets performed. Okay. Let us assume that we want to transfer data from data register to the temporary register. Assumes that we want to transfer data from data register to the temporary register. So what is data register label? 3. What is 3? So 3 means 0, 1, 1. So here 3 means 0, 1, 1. So first we have to enable the selection inputs 0, 1, 1. So whenever we enable the selection input 0, 1, 1, then data register information will be placed on the bus. So now bus contains data register content. So now we have to transfer the contents of the data register to the temporary register. So now the bus contains data register content. Now we need to transfer that content to the temporary register. So how we can make that as happen? By enabling the load control input of the data register. So whenever load control input of the data register is enabled, then the corresponding bus content will be transferred to the data register. In place of data register, let us assume that we want to transfer the content to the accumulator. So then what we have to do? We have to enable the load control input of the accumulator. So like that we have to perform the operations. Okay. Next here we have to apply a clock pulse on all these registers. Let us apply a clock pulse. This is nothing but clock pulse. So this clock pulse should be applied to all the registers like this. So clock pulse is applied on the temporary register, clock pulse is applied on the instruction register, clock pulse is applied on the accumulator, clock pulse is applied on the data register, clock pulse is applied on the program counter, next clock pulse is applied on the address register. Let us perform one more operation. Let our target is we want to transfer some data from program counter to memory. We want to transfer data from program counter to memory. So for program counter, what is the label here? 2. So 2 means 0, 1, 0. So first we have to enable the selection input 0, 1, 0, as well as we need to apply a clock pulse. So whenever a clock pulse is applied, as well as whenever we enable the selection input 0, 1, 0, then program counter information will be placed on the bus. Okay. Now bus contains program counter information. Now that information has to be transferred to the memory. So that should be done by enabling the write control input. So whenever the write control input is enabled, then that content will be returned to the memory unit. So this is about computer registers as well as a common bus system which transfers the data between registers, register and the memory and the registers.